Hello, my name is John Smith, and welcome to the Psalming Effect. I'm making this to broadcast on January the 3rd, 2022. And so I hope you'll join us throughout the year here in 2022, Lord willing, as I've done for the past year and a half. I'll be posting a weekly meditation from the book of Psalms that I hope encourages you to spend some time in God's Word, especially the book of Psalms. Very encouraging messages there, and sometimes challenging things, but certainly some words from David and some of the other writers of the Psalms that apply to us, even though they were written centuries ago. It's God's Word, and God speaking to us through the psalmist. And these scriptures are very special. And so today, the first Monday in the year 2022, I'd like to share some thoughts from Psalm 3. Before I read that psalm, and it's just 8 verses, and if you follow along in your own Bible, I think that would be helpful as well. I want to introduce you to my friend here. I don't think I have a name for this stuffy, but I want my friend here to be a part of today's meditation. If you know me at all, you know that I like working with young people, and if you've been out with me at camp, at Bible camp, one of the things that I do is I bring my stuffies with me. I have like a whole army of these stuffies that I bring out to camp, and I like to use them in classes. But what I like to use them the most is to encourage the kids with their cabin cleanup and those kind of activities. In fact, what I do is I make my stuffies available for them to use in the cabins, so that they not just make their beds and sweep their floor, but in fact they can use these characters, these various stuffies that I make available, and they can decorate their cabin and dress it up and use the stuffies as a theme, either animal themes, or of course they can make up stories, and oftentimes I will challenge them to use the Bible lessons that we're learning out at camp and use that as a theme. So I send these stuffies out there with them, or I bring these stuffies out with me. The other thing I do with these quite often is with youth group. Here in Weyburn we have an active youth group, and one of the things we've done every year since I've been here, I like to set up a mini golf course, an indoor mini golf course all throughout the building. It's just a little putting course with little artificial holes for the golf ball to roll into. But I decorate them and make them creative, and I use my stuffies in any way I can to make them look cool. So I like to use my stuffies for various things. Sometimes I use them in presentations here at the church when I'm giving a lesson, especially because I think they do engage the children, and I think that's special. But one of the things that I find a little bit unfortunate about my stuffies is that because they're limp toys stuffed with just soft material, when you set them up in a chair, like I have my bear here with my orange t-shirt on, look at how his head is drooping so low. Doesn't he look a lot better when you lift his head up, and if he could prop his head up like that all the time with a smile on his face, you would be thinking that he was happier. But when I just, set him in a chair like that, well, he looks very discouraged and forlorn. Well, that's why I wanted to read this psalm, Psalm chapter 3. O Lord, how many are my foes? Many are rising against me. Many are saying of my soul, there is no salvation for him in God. But you, O Lord, are a shield about me, my glory, and the lifter of my head. I cried aloud to the Lord, and he answered me from his holy hill. I lay down and slept. I woke again, for the Lord sustained me. I will not be afraid of many thousands of people who have set themselves against me all around. Arise, O Lord, save me, O my God. For you strike all my enemies on the cheek, you break the teeth of the wicked. Salvation belongs to the Lord, your blessing be on your people. So what particularly caught my attention in this psalm today was verse 3. But you, O Lord, are a shield about me, my glory, and the one who lifts my head. You know, nothing shows discouragement like a drooping countenance, slouching shoulders, and a head dipped low. Well, like my friend here, my stuffy. That looks like someone who's very discouraged. And there are often things in life that can be very discouraging. You may be going through one of those times in your life now. Maybe you're discouraged by the situation of the world. Maybe you're getting tired of this pandemic that we're in. Maybe some of the activities that you used to love doing have been hampered because of regulations. But maybe there's other reasons why you're feeling discouraged. Maybe you've lost a friend, maybe someone close to you. Maybe you yourself have suffered something, an illness or a financial loss or a broken relationship. Something bad has happened and you're just feeling discouraged. Maybe you're just feeling weary. And life can do that to us at times. Sometimes we're just going hard at it, and frankly, we get tired. This psalm is written by David, and it's David has found himself many times in circumstances that would be discouraging. Actually, circumstances where his life was often in actual peril. He was a soldier. He was the commander of Israel's armies, so he was fighting battles, like real battles, hand-to-hand combat with dangerous enemies. But he was anointed as king when he was still a young man, anointed to be the next king, and the current king felt threatened by that and sought to take David's life. Now, David was as faithful and as loyal a man as you could find. He was never, in fact, he resisted ever when he had opportunities to attack Saul and take his life and take the throne early. He had been anointed, David was, when he was young, but he waited until it was his time. And but in all of those circumstances of life where David was under attack, where he was feeling discouraged, where he was feeling like his enemies were surrounding him, rather than staying looking like this, David looked to his God in faith, and God helped him overcome his enemies. David was a shield, or God was a shield around David. Because God was there to fight and defend and encourage him. And as he says in verse 3, you, O Lord, are a shield around me, my glory, the one who lifts my head. That's the encouragement I'm taking from the psalm today for myself, and I hope that you can take that as encouragement as well. That God is on our side. And even when it looks like and it feels like, and our experience is that things are going against us, whatever it is, in our personal life, in the world around us, God is here for us. He's our protector. He's our defender. He is stronger than any enemy that stands against us. And if we will look to him in faith, following a good example in David, he is the lifter of our head. He will give us encouragement. He will give us strength. He will allow us to face the world in which we live and to face the circumstances in which we find ourselves with encouragement, with confidence, with the glory of God surrounding us and making us strong. Well, I hope that encourages you today. I encourage you to reflect on that all throughout this week and let it bless you in the way that you deal with life. And I have a new theme for this year that I'm sharing with my congregation here in Weyburn. Grace is for you in 2022.